Hey guys, I want to give you a brief update on what's planned for the channel for the next couple of months. Some of you might have seen my community post about my upcoming Jazz Piano for Beginners series. This has been something I've wanted to do for a long time. Provide some sort of systematic, in-depth resource that goes beyond the general, usual shallowness of YouTube and really gives beginning pianists some sort of methodical way to approach jazz piano. These lessons are probably going to be the focus of this channel over the next couple of months. I'm still going to try and get some other videos in between, but my aim is going to be to upload a new lesson every weekend. I'm going to aim for a total of about 20 videos or so. So as you can see, if you do the math, this is approximately 5 months. Next, I'd like to give you an idea of the outline of these videos. Now, because not all of the videos have been filmed, this is probably going to change a little bit, but it will still give you an overall idea of what I intend to cover and approximately when I intend to cover it. I'll say one more thing, which is that I always try to be practical in my videos. I divide them into 3 parts, which is theory, that's the first part, followed by an application, so you can see how the theory is actually used in practice, and then in the third part, giving you some ideas on how to practice what I've presented. So it's going to be theory, application, practice for each lesson, except for the first. The first lesson is going to be just a brief hello and overview, and I'm going to play a ballad for you. We're going to use this ballad as a template to teach a lot of different concepts. Now, you don't have to be able to play the ballad necessarily if you don't have the technical skill to do it, although I will provide some guidance for those of you who want to try. The idea is to have some sort of song that we can go back to and use to implement the different concepts we'll learn throughout the series. We're going to really approach things systematically starting from the second lesson, which is going to focus on chords. And I'm going to show you how to construct what I'd call the basic type of jazz chords in the left hand. The idea is that you'll be able to approach any sheet music and construct the chords you need to play in the left hand while playing the melody in the right hand. In the third lesson, we're going to cover scales, different types of scales, how to construct them, and which scales go with which chords. Now, we're not going to go very in-depth into scales in the sense that we're not going to really break down each possible scale and which scale goes with each possible chord. A lot of the complexity will enter later on when we start talking about tensions. So this is really going to just give you an idea of some of the basic scales and the concept of a scale. We're going to make a short detour on the fourth lesson to discuss shell voicings and the concept of chord voicings in general. This is before tackling the idea of functional or diatonic harmony in the fifth lesson and the related concept of chord substitution in the sixth lesson. So the idea of functional harmony really is the set of rules that underlies almost all of what I'd call classical jazz. It lets you understand why certain chords come after certain chords, how chord progressions are made, and what's the thought process behind them. The next few lessons will discuss basic concepts in harmony that are important to understanding how chord progressions are made. So we're going to talk about the tritone substitution, the 2-5-1 progression, the role of diminished chords, and modulations between different keys. Once we have these concepts under our belt, for simple chords, for seventh chords, really, we're going to progress onto more complex chords and harmonies. So we're going to introduce tensions and other advanced concepts in voicings. These will include things like polychords, more advanced scales like the altered scales and their uses, and we'll conclude with an examination of practical voices used by famous pianists. So we're going to analyze specific voicings used by pianists such as Oscar Peterson, Herbie Hancock, Bill Evans, Keith Jarrett, and more. The next and last section of this course will focus on soloing. Now, we've laid some of the foundation for soloing before by discussing scales. However, improvisation is more than just scales, so we're going to talk about the philosophy behind playing jazz solos and improvising, and how to approach these ideas. So we'll talk about ear training, we'll talk about using motifs in your playing, transcribing solos, and this will hopefully give you the kind of basis you need to start working on your own soloing skills. Now, no course is going to by itself magically turn you into an advanced jazz pianist. This is going to require, in addition, a lot of work on your side. So I've spaced the lessons a week apart. I'm going to try and upload one lesson every weekend. And this will give you time to go back and rewatch some of the lessons, as well as practice some of the suggestions I'll make for you in the third part of each video. That's it. That's the update I wanted to share with you. I sincerely hope this would be of use to many of you, and of course many others who will come after you. That's it. See you this weekend.